Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The chase, the confession that stopped the show. It was a brisk Wednesday afternoon in the ITV studios and everything was moving like clockwork. Cameras were rolling, the studio lights were humming, and the familiar buzz of anticipation filled the set of The Chase. Contestants were in their chairs, Bradley Walsh was in high spirits as always, and one of the nation's favorite chasers, and the governess Hegarty, was ready to put another team through the ringer. But no one could have predicted what would unfold that day. A confession so startling, so utterly out of the blue, that it would bring the entire show to a screeching halt. Bradley Walsh strolled onto the set, beaming with his signature charm. His tan suit shimmered subtly under the lights, and the crowd gave their customary warm applause. "Hello everybody," he said cheerfully. "Welcome to The Chase. Can four strangers work together to take down one of the finest quiz brains in the country and win thousands of pounds? We're about to find out." As the opening montage played on the monitors, Bradley turned to the contestants, a seemingly ordinary mix of characters. There was Greg, a middle-aged postman with an encyclopedic knowledge of 80s rock bands, Priya, a soft-spoken botanist, Lewis, a cheeky bartender from Essex, and finally Clara, a quiet, elegant woman in her early 30s who seemed almost too composed. "Right then, team," Bradley said, rubbing his hands together. "Let's meet you all properly. Greg, you're up first." One by one, the players introduced themselves. There was laughter, light banter, and everything felt like classic Chase, until it was Clara's turn. "And finally, Clara," Bradley said, "tell us a bit about yourself." Clara gave a small smile. "Well, I'm originally from Yorkshire, but I've been living in London for the past 10 years. I work in publishing, mostly fiction. And Bradley's brow furrowed slightly. "Hang on. You say you work in fiction, yeah? You don't look unfamiliar to me." Clara hesitated, visibly flustered. Well, I suppose I've done some ghostwriting on the side. Maybe you've read something I've worked on." "Yes," Bradley said, tapping his chin. "Maybe I have." Clara's cash builder round was modest but respectable, £5,000. When she returned from the head-to-head with the governess, she was met with congratulations from the team. But there was something about her that kept gnawing at Bradley. During the breaks between filming, he couldn't help but glance at her notes, scribbled on the back of a cue card. The handwriting looked oddly familiar. Curly loops on her eyes. A peculiar flourish on every capital T. It reminded him of something from years ago. As the next rounds played out, Clara remained composed, but tension began to build between her and the governess. It was subtle, eye contact that lingered too long, slight smirks, tiny raises of the eyebrow. Then came the final chase. Clara and Greg were the only ones left. Together they managed to set a strong target of 21 steps. Anna returned for the chase with her usual stern expression, but her eyes kept flicking to Clara. As the final chase wore on, Anne's momentum stalled. Then, with just 3 questions left, Bradley asked, "In 2010, who wrote the best-selling thriller The Black Hourglass under the pseudonym D. Black?" Anne paused. Clara's eyes widened. Bradley read the confusion. "Anne?" Anne blinked. "I don't know. Time ran out." Clara's voice cut through the silence. "I did." The studio went still. Anna turned to Clara. Bradley stood frozen. You wrote The Black Hourglass?" he asked, eyes narrowing. Clara gave a small nod. "Yes, D. Black is me." Bradley's jaw dropped. "That was your book? That was one of the best thrillers I've ever read." Clara chuckled nervously. "I never told anyone on my publishing team that I was planning to appear here. I thought I'd be anonymous. I didn't think anyone would notice." Anne stepped forward, her icy demeanor melting with surprise. "I reread that book twice. The way you constructed the villain, it reminded me of, well, me." Clara gave a sheepish smile. "You were the inspiration." The studio erupted into laughter and stunned gasps. Even Bradley clutched his chest dramatically. Hang on," he said, calling off the final chase countdown. "We're going to need a minute."